what happened in the parliament yesterday, and our light on Manipur, because the parliament, Manipur, basically it was a clean wash. All that was spoken about was Manipur. It was a no confidence motion that was tabled.
See, Rahul Gandhi
and Rahul Gandhi made that statement.
Yeah,
he began by saying कि आपने हिंदुस्तान की हत्या कर दी है.
I mean,
and then that flying case ordeal.
You murdered, he said that you murdered India. You murdered India and Manipur. That is what he said.
You have
and
said
then you
Manipur
have
on fire.
divided and fractured Manipur.
This is what I'll do. So, you know, for the no trust motion and against the no trust motion, for those of you who missed the parliament session yesterday, let's just quickly take them through this. For the no trust motion, it's firstly Rahul Gandhi. He says our Prime Minister hasn't even visited Manipur. For him, Manipur is not a part of India. I use the word Manipur, but the reality is there is no Manipur left. You have divided Manipur into two parts. You have broken it up. Today, BJP has sprinkled kerosene on the whole country, sprinkled it on Manipur, set it on fire, sprinkled on Haryana. That state too is burning. You are Deshdrohis, not patriots. Meanwhile, on the other hand, against the motion, against the no trust motion is Smriti Irani. Manipur is not divided. It is a part of this country and it will continue to be. You, the opposition, are not India, because their alliance is called INDIA. Because you define corruption in India. You define incompetence. He, of course, talking about Rahul Gandhi, said he went on a yatra and gave assurances that they will restore Article 370. It will never be restored. And even as we say that, and Smriti Irani said that
the
in the
hearing is
parliament,
still happening in the Supreme Court.
Happening. We'll talk about that as well. Now, again, for the no trust motion, Varghese, Rajiv Ranjan. When the situation in Manipur is being discussed, incidents from other states are being mentioned. And that was constantly being, mentioned. Smriti Irani spoke about pretty much every other state.
She spoke about Rajasthan. She went into history also. She spoke about the emergency. She spoke about the rapes that were happening.
She ended her speech by saying that Mughals have left,
but I mean, a little bit of historical aspects were also taken up. But the question was, it was all about Manipur, and then you had this mudslinging that was going on, saying that who was better than,
Farooq Abdullah.
I never understood that holier than thou attitude from both of them. It's not that the Congress is, having a very clean page to hide about things and, to say that, you have, this, holier than thou attitude was there, nor has the treasury benches have that holier than thou attitude with them. So both of them have histories, and we as common people and as journalists, you and I know both have histories. Both have histories that if we start picking up now, it's going to become much more controversial. But yeah, you were saying about Farooq Abdullah.
Farooq Abdullah, and he's never uttered a word on Article 370. Every time the media personnel went up to Farooq Abdullah, all he said was कि अल्लाह का कोई घर नहीं होता, भगवान का कोई घर नहीं होता. What are you talking about this Gyanvapi? What are you talking about Article 370? He basically, shies away. He basically, I don't know if that's a diplomatic way of putting his opinion
probably
out.
To the fact that you don't want to get into trouble right now, as of now.
In the parliament yesterday, the responsibility of this nation is not only towards Hindus, but towards every person living in India. How many Kashmiri Pandits have you, the centre, brought back in these last 10 years? None, says Farooq Abdullah. Because Kashmir was part of Amit Shah's speech, Kashmir was part of Smriti Irani's speech. There were central points, and then finally Amit Shah's big bomb dhamaka that came in the evening. And he kept on saying, and he knows his way with words. He took a second to call out the other leaders of the opposition, also saying that this is just the trailer. Wait, I'm getting there. Wait, I'm getting there.
I know what you're going to speak on, but before you get onto, I'll just highlight some of the things, and then I'll give you that chance for that bomb. What Amit Shah actually said on Manipur, he said some interesting things. He said on steps taken by the centre. The PM called me at 4:30 a.m. and then woke me up again with a call the next day at 6 a.m. For 3 straight days, we worked to ensure peace. That's what he said. Then he said, we are ashamed of what happened. There is no doubt of this. However shameful what transpired was, it's even more shameful to indulge in politics, politicizing of the matter. On the video of paraded women, he said, why did the video surface a day before the parliament session was to begin? If whoever had that video handed it to the DGP. Exactly, they could have given it to this thing. And then on the opposition, he said they don't want a debate, they just want to protest. They've not let the Home Minister talk on it. What kind of democratic system do they want? And then, of course, I know what you're going to bring it up.
And then, well, no, I mean, you pretty much said it all. He just did not stop. And yesterday people were constantly, talking about whether Rahul Gandhi's speech was better or was Smriti Irani's speech better. What's your take on that?
See, if you look at the kind of rebuttal that we were looking at, Rahul Gandhi stuck to that fact on only one aspect, that is to talk about Manipur. And then he weaved that entire thing into the narrative of Bharat Mata as well. And then you see how that entire messaging is there. You have an alliance called INDIA. You have Rahul Gandhi actually speaking in terms of Bharat Mata. And who is Bharat Mata? Bharat Mata is the clarion call for the people on the treasury benches as well. Because Bharat Mata ki Jai is one of the biggest slogans that they have been using. So he used the word Bharat Mata very consciously. It was not that he didn't use it, this thing just like out of others. He used it very consciously, and he in fact went on to weave it with the narrative that you have murdered her. What have you murdered Bharat Mata in Manipur? You have divided, you have fractured. This is what the accusation he put against the treasury benches.
Right.
Oh, that is interesting enough. But then in the rebuttal, when you come to Smriti Irani did take up the issue, but she should have focused only on Manipur, and she should have actually spoken about Manipur rather than going around the bush and talking about histories, because that is what I was trying to say.
Do you think
nobody can
help what's
you can't
actually
have that
happening in
holier than
Manipur?
thou attitude over here. And I think the speech was more, the kind of rebuttal that we are looking at was mostly delivered by H.M. Amit Shah.
Exactly. Let's follow what Amit Shah was actually talking about. Let's not politicize it. So let's delve away from what happened in the parliament. Of course, it was a bid by the Congress and the opposition to make the Prime Minister speak, which we will focus on again today when he speaks and gives his reply in the parliament. But does that affect actually what's happening in the ground? Take a look at what's happening in Manipur. Today, the schools are going to reopen in certain places. But more than that, the Mira Paibis have submitted a referendum to the Prime Minister. So has the
memo
Kuki,
they had, I think.
a memo, asking for the removal of the Assam rifles. On the other hand, you also have the Kuki NP, Manipur, the apex body of the Kuki-Zo tribal bodies. They have submitted their referendum that, either tell the world that we are Indians
or we are immigrants.
Or we're immigrants. Or, call us out, basically. Because if we're Indians, then you better come and protect us over here.
As citizens of the country. And if you're not, and also look at the complication. Of course, you were talking about how the memo has been given for removing of Assam rifles. But at the same time, the Manipur police has filed FIRs against the Assam rifles, saying that they were obstructing duties. So what happened yesterday also, we come to that question, is that it looks like the different paramilitary forces and the police are all on different pages, and you're unable to. And in the speech also, Rahul Gandhi said that the Indian army could have restored order in one day. You did not allow them to do. That is, another accusation that he had put forward. But then, interestingly enough, Amit Shah was the only person who I think gave a proper rebuttal when it comes to what Rahul Gandhi had. He's probably powerful enough to counter that.
What Rahul Gandhi said yesterday about Manipur, that the army can bring peace. And people have been talking about, how a president's rule at this point in time is actually the only option left in front of the central government. Do you think it's the only option left in front of the central government? And can the army really bring in peace as swiftly as Rahul Gandhi was trying
See,
to talk
the
about
army,
yesterday?
our army especially, is well known to have been used in certain law and order situations. They know how to bring in order as fast as possible. But again, Kabir, remember, in the initial 2-3 weeks of that violence that happened in Manipur, we were actually discussing about how the situation pertained on the ground, because some of the army, they were saying that they were being blocked. There was non-cooperation from the Manipur police.
Right.
They were being blocked by people, their vehicles they had to leave, and they have to march on foot straight to the places where the violence was taking place.
Take a look at this. Backing Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, Amit Shah appeals with folded hands to Cookies and Metis to come for talks. Urging the Cookies and Metis to come to the talks table, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Wednesday appealed with folded hands for restoration of peace in Manipur, which has seen continuing violence for over 3 months now. Shah was speaking during the debate on the no confidence motion in Lok Sabha, which later adopted a resolution appealing for peace in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to reply in the House today, while Amit Shah blamed the Manipur High Court for triggering the violence. He ruled out a change of guard in the state, because people have been saying that, when it comes to Gujarat, you've changed the guard like this. Why not change the guard like this?
3 chief ministers in 5 years.
Why not change the guard? And that's not just Gujarat. Changing has worked for the BJP as well. It was something that works for a party, they'll of course do it. And it's not just Gujarat. We've got several other examples as well. Basaraj Bomai from Yediyurappa, of course, the Gujarat.
No, the BJP has been doing it. But see, over here, I think they are in a catch-22 situation. Because in Manipur, removing Biren Singh would be seen as trying to, punish the Metis. And listening, and so the government is in a very catch-22 situation because Biren has emerged more than a community leader right now during this period of violence. So I think to touch Biren Singh would be to alienate the Metis completely, and that would something that has been putting them into the catch-22 situation. And there have been a lot of efforts to keep the cookies also on the same page, and therefore that effort to keep the cookies also will be lost if they go ahead and don't change. So this is the catch-22 situation that they are in.